Together, growing in faith, changing communities.
Together, growing in faith, changing communities. My dear brothers and sisters, today I would like us to reflect on the Gospel of Mark, chapter 5, from verse 21 to verse 43. It is a story about Jairus. There is a man whose name is Jairus, who is a leader in a synagogue. He is a powerful man. He is a man of great authority. And so the story is told of this man who goes in pursuit, searching for Jesus. But we also know that he is not the one who is sick. It is rather his daughter who is not well. But Jairus goes and he searches for Jesus. And what I find absolutely amazing is that he forgets his ego. He forgets that he's a powerful man. He forgets that he has people at his beck and call. He forgets that he can get whatever he wants. Life has reduced him to a beggar. Life situation has reduced him to go and search for Jesus. There are moments in life where some of us think, I'm quite okay, I don't need God in my life. There are moments of made a declaration, I can live without God. But there are certain experiences in our own lives that forces us to forget about myself, to forget about the things I've said, and to search for meaning, for truth, for direction, for self, for purpose, for God. Because my dear brothers and sisters, it is quite easy to live life without any purpose. It is quite easy to live life without any meaning. It is quite easy to lie and to deceive myself and think that everything is okay. Meanwhile, I have lost a sense of direction. What I find absolutely amazing in this story is that Jairus is forced to search for the Lord because his daughter is sick. Now, in isiZulu, it sounds absolutely beautiful. Uyalela, at the point of death. This person doesn't just have a headache, or a toothache, or a backache. This person is dying. And so Jairus is desperate. And you see this in how the author presents the story. He throws himself at the feet of the Lord. And I can imagine this man who goes with tears welling up in his eyes, a respected person, and who says to Jesus, I need you to come home with me. I need you to help my daughter. How many of us would want to have that prayer? I need you to come home with me. I need you to come to my family. I need you to come into my life. Things are not going well. And so what I find interesting is that Jesus doesn't say much, but he says to Jairus, let's go. And as Jesus leaves with Jairus, a great crowd follows Jesus. But amongst the great crowd, there is this woman who's been bleeding for 12 years. And I'm imagining Jesus walking away with Jairus, and I'm seeing this woman who rushes and runs behind Jesus and says, I'm not letting you go. While I may argue and say she's afraid of facing the Lord, but also another argument is that Jesus is walking away and she's saying, I'm not letting you go. I'm not going to let you go without you helping me. And so she drags on Jesus. She holds on to the hem of his cloth. And she says, if you have to drag me, but I need help. Have you ever been that desperate? I need help. And I need it now. And she says, I can't let you go. This can't be another disappointing day. I've already told myself that I need you, and I need you now. But the story for today is not about the woman. We know that Jesus helps the woman, and the woman is healed. But while Jesus is healing the woman, a messenger comes from Jairus' house and says, don't bother the master. Your daughter has died. How does Jairus feel? I can imagine the frustration, the sadness, the anger towards Jesus, and probably towards himself. Why did I allow you, Jesus, to heal her? You should have come with me. I was the first one in. I was the first one who asked for help. And how do you feel about it? When you've done everything to help them, but when you ask for their help, they are forever busy. How do you feel when you've prayed for people, they've been healed, but you prayed for the member of your family, but she died? How do you feel when while you were working, you organize that everybody is okay, that they get employment, but and yet you lose your job and you pray to God and you haven't been working for years? How do you feel when everything seems to be going well for them, but not for you? How do you hold on to your faith when you think and feel that God does not listen to your prayers? And so Jairus looks at Jesus, and I want to argue that it's filled with a sense of anger, but also he's beating himself. Why did I trust this man? Why did I allow him to help? I love the response of Jesus. He ignores what the messenger has said. And he says, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Your daughter is not dead. She's alive. How do you say that to your head when you've been told that we will be retrenching? How do you say that into your head when they've served you with divorce papers? How do you say that to your head when you've been told they want to repossess your home and your cars? How do you say it into your head when the one you love is lying in ICU? How do you say to yourself, there's no need to be afraid, God is in charge? And Jesus walks with Jairus. And as he walks with Jairus, he comes at the gates, and there are people, they are creating so much chaos. They're crying, they're wailing, and Jesus looks at them and says, why so much noise? In isiZulu, once again, it's beautiful. Esani lesiyaliyalo, okwalo kuphithizela. Look at all of you, look at all your faces, and you all look so beautiful and so peaceful. And yet inside, are we as peaceful as we look? Maybe not. Maybe there's so much noise. Maybe there's so much confusion. And I'm asking myself, I'm arguing, I'm frustrated. And the Lord is asking, why so much noise? Why this great tumult? I love what Jesus does. He says, get out. I don't need your noise. I don't need your wailing. I don't need your crying. Do I have that courage to look into myself and say, I don't need this noise? I often say to myself, if it costs you your inner peace, you don't need it. If it disturbs your peace, you don't need it. If it makes you not able to sleep at night, you don't need it. If it makes you a bitter person, you don't need it. If it makes you an angry person, you don't need it. But there's something that Jesus does. He knows he does not need this, but he makes a decision. He kicks it out. He fires them. He says, go home. Can I do that? It's easy to walk away from people, but do you have the courage to fire certain people away from your life? And tell them, I love you, but I don't need you in my life right now. You are not good for my peace. You are not good for my well-being. You are not a bad person, but you are just not meant for me right now. There's something that Jesus does and it speaks to me. He gets rid of them and he takes Peter, James, and John. And he takes the mother and the father. And he says, let's go to where the baby is. You're aware that the mother in the whole chapter only occupies one verse. And the only thing we are told about her is that Jesus took her to a baby. But I look for this woman and I see the pain in her eyes. She's been holding on to her baby and saying, baby, don't give up, Daddy's coming home. Baby, don't die, but Daddy's coming home. Have you ever held your baby in your arms and you knew there was nothing else you could have done? Have you ever given birth to a stillborn and you cried your lungs out? Have you ever held a dying baby? He may be a grown man, but to you he remains your child. When everybody else says whatever they want to say, but for you, this is my baby. You never forget that moment. You never forget the moment they come and tell you that your baby has died. You never forget the moment you get the phone call from the hospital that your baby is no longer alive. That picture of your baby lying dead, a mother never forgets. She only occupies one verse. She sits, she looks at him, And she says, why do you want me to go to a person who's dead? Why do you want to take me to the pain? I thought I've dealt with that. I thought I had made peace with my loss. And Jesus says, I need you to come with me. The wound is oozing out. It's still bleeding. And Jesus says, I need you to come with me. And he takes the mother, he takes the father, and he says, I need you to see for yourself. And he only says one word. I find it absolutely amazing. He does not speak in Hebrew, he does not speak in Greek, he speaks in his mother tongue, in Aramaic. If you ever prayed and you realize that, no, I now need to use my mother tongue, because English doesn't get there. English doesn't get there. I need French. English doesn't get there. I need Swahili or Shona or Ndebele, whatever I need. And Jesus only says one word. Talita kumi. Little girl, get up. And how many of us need that? Get up. Life has been bad. Life has been terrible. But this is not your last chapter. This is not how things end. May the Virgin Mother of God continue to be with us, to protect, to bless, and to guide us. The Father, the Son,